do I have something special for you here today. The development update for the Old World mod for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. And this brings Warhammer into the world of Bannerlord in a really big way. The last time we did this, we took a look at a custom battle. Well, now we actually have a campaign map to go through, some people to go through in the encyclopedia, armor, locations. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. I'm going to be diving through the campaign map. We're going to do a quick little custom battle showing off some of the units that you can access so far in the mod, and then just kind of talk about my closing thoughts on the mod and its current condition. And of course, this is not like a review or anything because the mod is very heavily a work in progress right now. This is just a chance to put it out in the wild and have a lot of people test it and play it so they can, get their hands on it, get some critical feedback so they don't just keep developing in a vacuum. So, really, let me start out here by giving a huge shout out to the team at the Old World for letting me get a little early access to this, as well as a number of other content creators. You can access this yourself on ModDB starting on Sunday. So I think this will go live Saturday. So wait one more day and now you can play it on your Bannerlord. If you do download it, just make sure that when you install it, you have the right load order in place, you have Harmony, the mod Harmony installed, and you've unlocked your DLL files in the core and the core assets folders. You'll see all that in the FAQ if you download it and everything like that, but that's just a kind of quick how-to for when you want to get started. So if you want to just quickly navigate to the campaign map, to the battles, to my thoughts or anything like that, you can find all of those chapters in the description and the timeline to just quickly navigate as you so please. But let's get started here on the Old World mod in Bannerlord. And here we are on the campaign map, the first working campaign map for the Old World, and I am jazz-handsed about it. Right now, there's not a whole ton we can go into, right? We have Werkbad, we've got Averheim, and then we have Sylvania over here on the right, but who is this little guy in the center? Oh, it's the halflings. So there's a lot of fun to be had here, and you can see that they've expanded out the map. We can't access a ton of it. We can't even go to certain locations, but this is around where Marienburg would be. If we follow this river south, you'd find Altdorf around right here. Nuln would be around in this location as we move east in here into Werkbad and then into Sylvania. If I move north, you'd find the pass over here over the World Judge Mountains. You'd find Kislev right around here or so. I can't remember it's on which side of the river it's on. That would mean Ehrengrad would be right around here. And you've got Troll Country in this region, as well as, the quote-unquote Norska portion of the realm, the Northern Chaos Wastes, as you move further and further north. Now, Bretonnia would be over here to the west and over across this mountain range, and we don't have Bretonnia on the map just yet. Same thing with the dwarfs, same thing with the wood elves, or any other race. We have little bits of teasers, so I can take a look at some armor, which we're going to go into in its own little section in just a little bit here, but this is really exciting. This is awesome to see because it's, again, a first kind of working map here of, of Warhammer, and it's really cool. I mean, it's very bare bones right now because, of course, it is very much a work in progress, but it's really cool to see, okay, here's our working campaign map for Castle Drakenhof. It's kind of cool to just see all this come together here. Here's Werkbad itself. You can see the little statue of Sigmar right in there. So there's a lot of really cool stuff on just the map itself before diving into the encyclopedia, which it's going to be a lot of fun. So looking at the encyclopedia, let's just go to clans. Clans is where we're going to see a lot of information. The cool thing about this mod is, yes, right now it's vampire counts and it's Empire of Men. So you do only have access to those when you download the mod, but you can see that stuff like Chaos is very heavily planned, as you can clearly see. Archaon looking a little rough, but there he is right there in the game so far. And again, just a working model, of course. He's just there as a placeholder more than anything, I would assume. And we come back into the clans list. You can see, though, Braganza's Besiegers. So you see a lot of the the Dogs of War in here, right? Braganza's, Leopold's Leopard Company. Where's the Venators? Volan's Venators are down here. The Cursed Company, Rico's Republican Guard. So it's really cool to also see. Rico's looking a little rough right now, but it's cool to see the actual inception of some of these characters that are not represented in stuff like Total War, Warhammer, and the such. It's cool to see them in this game. Leopold De Lucci right here, De Lucci. Really, really awesome. Now, on top of that too, you also get stuff like Knights of the Blazing Sun with Siegfried here, and look at that Knights of the Blazing Sun armor. Don't worry, we're going to get into so much armor, it's going to make you fucking sick. We got the Cultist Sigmar with Luther Huss. Like, this looks so damn awesome, and this has really not been in development that long. So this is exciting to see on this level already, and it's only going to get better. And this is something I kind of said in my first coverage of this, is that it's only going to get better. Where's the Golden Order? Oops, crap. The Golden Order right here. Balthazar Gelt, again, looking a little rough. They have to deal with some things. What they were telling me in the first kind of original pass of this is that stuff like Manfred von Karstein, and all the skeletons aren't their own models, because they haven't quite yet learned how to crack that open in the code. So the skeletons are actually a armor piece that they have to apply to the skeleton, or to the what the hell's it called, to an actual unit, to make it become a skeleton. It's like basically putting armor onto it, then they layer it all up. So when you load the game, it's going to take you a long time to load through it. Just kind of be patient with it. It might honestly take 2 hours at the most. It took me only like 30 minutes, but I have like a super machine. So it's a very interesting level of layering that they've added into this to make it happen. And that's how we get stuff like Manfred over here. We've got the Red Duke. There's also, of course, Volkmar the Grim is right there. You can see all these really Hans Lietdorf, Marius Lietdorf, and of course there's Vladi Dadi here, Vlad von Karstein. Like, it's just great to see all these characters in this game. Helman Gorst, Valten, we just passed him a second ago, the Cult of Sigmar. So all these characters kind of come to life in this in a really cool, really awesome way. And again, like I've said before, it's still very much a work in progress. So they are tweaking with stuff like clipping and worrying about how certain units look. And again, remember that some things are going to be placeholders until they kind of flesh that out. Let's jump over now into the inventory screen so you can see a lot of this armor in action. This is where things get pretty damn cool. And remember, we've seen a lot of this in the previous pass as far as, hey, there's a lot of custom assets. Well, it goes even further. Like, now we can really play around with a lot of things and kind of custom build out the type of character we want to make in the old world mod. And it gets pretty sick. So you get this different variations of the Blazing Sun armor here that you can wear and go crazy with. I've got a bunch of different configurations we're going to go through here, but you've got this cool Empire General helmet I really like. This Empire Skull helmet, which looks sick. I mean, I made a character with a beard, and that does have its issues when it comes to clipping through things that, of course, that'll all just kind of fix in time. This Empire Black Lion helmet, they've got a bunch of different variations of this, a red one, a silver one, a gold one. So they're all really, really cool. Different Blazing Sun pauldrons. You probably can see plenty of the fun stuff we're about to go through here. But where is this? Oh, sort by name. There we go. That'll kind of fix me up a little bit. Blazing Sun, but a bunch of different, oh, there we go, engraved, a bunch of different, like, variations of all this really cool looking Empire armor. Like, look at that is sick. Or Empire Gold armor to really, like, make myself pop on the dance floor. Or, if I want to go not Empire and go Khorne, boom, we've got those options right here. And I fucking love it. Like, I really am stoked on this. Like, I mean, there are definitely, like I've said before, some things that are definitely going to be a little off right now. You can see the hands, and that's just kind of the way the modding has to work. It just is a little funky, but look at that helmet. It's great. We have some Nurgle action we can jump into as well. Let me get the other thing here with the Nurgle helmet. You can have a little bit of a Nurgle look to yourself, or you can just be a typical old Chaos Knight, which I just really love, like, the look of this. And there are like the shoulders are like a little chunky, But and the actual cloak itself, the pelt, is a little funky, but I think it'll all just kind of work itself out in due time. You have Bretonnian armor too, which is again not in the game just yet. We've got Blood Knight armor, Brass Knight. There's a whole bunch of different armors. That actually might be from Harmony, I can't remember. But Harmony does include a lot of different armor kits in this, so don't think that all of them are included in this mod. Like, I mean, built by the mod exclusively. Harmony does have some stuff, but we have Vlad von Karstein's armor here. Like, look at that. Look at that. Nice and juicy. Vultans. You can see what we saw from that little picture. Look at that, man. That is a lot of scales. The Warrior Priest armor that you can see here. I mean, that's just how I look every weekend, so that's pretty sweet, right? Volkmar the Grim armor. Again, just want to give you guys a little bit of a taste here, so when you jump in on Sunday, you can just go crazy with this. I think there was one more I wanted to look at. Oh, no, of course, the weapons. So let's jump over here into shields. You can see Vulcan shield. Oh, I've not seen the back of that armor. That's sick. We've got Luther Huss's shield, a Blazing Sun shield here, a Vampire Lord shield, a Nurgle shield. We get that really cool iconic symbol of Nurgle. Where's that Chaos one? The Chaos shield too. And then weapon-wise as well, you got the Black Axe of Krell, looking just beefy. That was in our first pass of the game when we took a look at things. You've got this cool Bretonnian sword, a bunch of different styles of Bretonnian sword that you can look at. A big old Nurgle hammer here. Nurgle Great Axe. So you can really make this character really come alive in that Warhammer world. You've got a Rune Fang that on the map it actually glows blue. Volkmar the Grim staff. Like, so many cool layerings built into this. And there's other stuff that I've seen 3D renderings of that is not in this. Like, I've seen Galmaraz, but it's not in this, unfortunately. You can see Balthazar Gelt's staff is right there. So there are so many different things. And I just kind of highlighted some of my favorite pieces. But even if you're not into all of the armor look and you're like, oh, you know what? Some of my favorite characters are Bright Wizards. Well, here you go. Here is a Bright Wizard for you. Oops, wrong thing. That goes there. And there's the robe, and there's the boots. So, like I said, they've put so much work and love into this, and I'm really fired up and stoked on it. So, let's jump into a real quick battle just to see some of this stuff in action so you can see how it all kind of comes together. And we'll take a look real quick at one of the villages, or one of the towns, and how that has actually progressed since the original development video we did some time ago. Before we jump into the custom battle, I do want to quickly show off the ability to start your own campaign. And like I was saying, you can choose between Empire of Man or Vampire Counts. And you go through a very similar process as you would when you create a normal character in Bannerlord. You choose your background, nobility, sergeant, thief, cultist, wine merchant even. Let's just choose one. Then you go through another level of enlisted in the militia, merchant's assistant, blacksmith's apprentice, acolyte of Sigmar, engineering student. So you get these really cool kind of layerings onto your character, right? A merchant, trainee Templar, warrior priest, acolyte, bright order initiate, and then free company militia. Then you press next and you're good to go. Let's go take a look at the vampires real quick. And again, I just wanted to show this off so you know what you're getting into tomorrow. I didn't want to take too deep of a dive. We'll probably do a really cool stream where we go through and make a character together and have some fun jumping into some battles and kind of testing stuff out, probably on Monday. But for the vampire counts, we have exiled nobility, priests of Moor, grave robbers, fisherman and his frog wife or an orphan. We'll go exiled nobility. Yeah, we'll do that. Then we get Noble Attendant, Necromancer's Apprentice, which is probably a book somewhere, the Blood Slave, a Stable Boy, and a Warpstone Miner. Then now into Vampiric Nobility, Novice Necromancer, Sylvanian State Trooper, which, I mean, look at that armor, Traveling Merchant, and then a Vagabond. So a lot of really cool layering built into just the campaign itself before we get access to hopefully more of the other races like the elves, like the dwarfs. I didn't show off the halflings, but the halfling actually has a smaller character. So we'll probably get a lot of dwarf stuff coming soon. They were saying they want to stick with men and vampire counts initially because they're easy to mod and deal with. Moving into stuff like greenskins or a bunch of different variations of chaos units or even dwarfs is going to be really difficult right now in the current state of the game until they learn how to kind of crack into more things with the modding tools, which they've clearly started to do, especially when we've seen some halfling variants of human races so far. So really excited about the future development of the possible races here for the campaign. So setting up our custom battle, this gives us a chance to look at all the units, and this is really exciting because we have so many to choose from. We're looking at the Empire side, we get just base recruits into state troops, into swordsmen, armored swordsmen, great swords, spearmen, armored spearmen, halberdiers, duelists, but then we also get some of the dogs of war. The regiments of renown from the Dogs of War, the Leopold Company's pikemen, the Republican pikemen. So it's cool to see these guys being added in at this level already. Looking at the archers, we get the typical kind of progression: scout, archer, huntsman, marksman, crossbowman, then some handgunners and marksman handgunners, but then we also get Braganza's crossbowmen and then marksman of Merigliano. So again, more layering done in with the Dogs of War, which makes sense, right? Our location in the campaign is so far south near the border princes, so it's cool to see that added in here. For Cav, we get Empire Cav, Knights, and then Venator Knights. And then lastly, for the range units, we get Pistoliers and Outriders. Now, for the vampires, we get Cursed Company, Sylvanian Recruit. Cursed Company is the Dog of War. Sylvanian Recruit, Sylvanian State Troop, Animated Skeleton, then moves into Skeleton Warrior, Skeleton Spearman, Grave Guard with Great Weapon, Cairn Wraith, which look really cool at night, and then Blood Knight on foot. For archers, we just get Sylvanian archers and huntsmen, which is, I think, a pretty necessary thing for this game. It's kind of decimating to not have any archer gameplay in Bannerlord, so I like that layering in there. And then for Cav, we get Black Knights or Blood Knights mounted. So let me set up a little battle here, and we'll jump into the battleground to see the Empire of Man fight against the Vampire Counts. All right, moving us into a battle, we can see that things are starting to unfold here, but let's go through some of the cool stuff. Now, I've only really put in the elite units because they're a little bit more iconic and they look badass. So just going through just the Empire infantry, you can see that I've got armored spearmen mixed into here. There's some great swords like this guy right here. You have got the Dogs of War in the background over here, and some other ones over there with the wolf headdresses as well. So you can see all the unit variety kind of coming to life right here, which is really, really awesome. Like, I really love this. And when we come over here to our cavalry options, we have got pretty much, that's a, I think it's like, oh, I thought that thing was sticking in the lance. We have some Empire Knights that I've already kind of caught a couple arrows here, but then the Venators in the back with their iconic looking helmets. So you can see a lot of this stuff, like especially when you take a look at the knights. Like, look at the horse armor on these guys. It looks so good. Now, we don't have the Knights of the Blazing Sun on access right now in the custom battle, so I can't show them off to you. We have our general here with his rune fang. Caught an arrow almost in the knee. But for the range units, we can see the besiegers. We can see the other Dogs of War, as well as some marksmen with hand cannon, or hand guns, not hand cannons, right there. And then over here we have some outriders and some pistoliers already going to work. So they'll actually, when I press charge for them, they will circle around and shoot things like any normal horse archers would in Bannerlord. Now, taking a look over here at the vampire counts, for some reason their infantry is a little disjointed, but you can see the Blood Knights on foot right here, about to smash into my front line. You can see behind them some of the Grave Guard. Here's one with great weapons. Here's one without great weapon, just normal. And then behind that, you have got more of the infantry coming down. And take a look at those shields. Look at the awesomeness coming out of them. You get just some normal skeleton spearmen and some normal skeleton warriors mixed into here. Behind that, though, you've got the dreaded Vampire Lord on his horse, as well as some of the other Blood Knights, and these really awesome little masks on their horses. And not Luther Harkin, but Wallach Harkin is in the game. You can see him on the actual campaign map. So it does kind of have this motif here of a lot of Bretonnia, right? Kind of sharing in that lore of the Blood Keep and Wallach-Harkin converting the Blood Keep, and then these guys going out to challenge and convert other Bretonnian questing knights and so on and so forth throughout the lore of the Blood Knights. So a lot of really cool action being brought here, a lot of really cool attention to detail as you get the archer units of Sylvania. So I'm going to go ahead and unpause this, and we're just going to kind of watch this battle unfold before your very eyes. Here it are, things are going back to go mode as things clash right now. Now I will also be showing, you can see that's a spell kicking off and just blowing into the front of my units. I'm going to be showing you off some of the spell work after this fight, but I just wanted to have some fun and the good old romping here with Vampire of Men versus some of these Vampire counts. Now let's go ahead and charge with our front line. And we'll have our Horse Archers charge, and they'll start to do some circling action. I'm going to put F6 on our cavalry just to have them do their thing. They're getting a charge in here from the Blood Knights, so it'll help them out. Aha! And I also have this little ditty. Nothing says close quarters combat like a pistol. Aha! It might have been a little brutal right there. My back line of archers already compromised. Aha! Oh! Okay, I can't hold right click. I just pressed left. Okay, there we go. Hey, come back! I'm trying to shoot you with a pistol. This is absolutely unfounded they would run. See, no honor amongst any of these damn Blood Knights. Oh! Did they add a slow-mo to this that I wasn't aware of? Because that just happened. I cut his head off and it's slow mode. That was not my like cool editing techniques, because I don't have those. Damn. I'm a little taken aback by that. That was pretty sweet. Maybe we can get another one going here. Not right now, Venator. I'm trying to kill people with my sweet Rune Fang. Oh, there's another. Just head right off. Damn. You know what? Let's get the pistol out here. I want to get another close range shot in. Aha! Now you can see that red mist coming off of them. That's them actually crumbling. So there is a crumbling mechanic brought into this game, like I was talking in the last time we did one of these little kind of dev updates on the patch, or I'm sorry, on the mod. So you can see them actually crumbling away because they're. Oh man, I just killed a horse with this damn pistol. Because their general is dead. So a lot of really cool nuance was brought into this, and I really, really like it. So let's take a look at some of the spells. So you can see I have got the ability to use a fireball, but I can't. Only the Bright Wizard and the Necromancer can do it, and I believe the Vampire Lord. So let's go ahead and show off some of the summoning stuff. Alright, so looking over here at the undead side of things now, I chose a night map, and it's probably going to be very difficult to see, so I apologize about that. For some reason, when it comes to recording it, it never really kind of pulls through properly. But you can see what is the big point of doing this is the glowing eyes and all the skeletons. You've got the Cairn Wraiths in the back here. You've got the glowing eyes on these Black Knights over here. But since we're playing a Necromancer, and I'm going to actually, yeah, we'll pause this real quick because they're going to come up on us. So if you're playing a Necromancer or a Bright Wizard, you can use spells. You can also use prayers if you're a Warrior Priest of Sigmar. And the only way to access these is if you start the campaign as Vampiric Nobility, an Apprentice Necromancer, or as, you know, a fledgling Warrior Priest. So if you don't do one of those, you'll never have access to those spells. So it is worth mentioning that. So make sure if you're playing the campaign, you do create one of those three characters so you have access to spells. But let's take a look at how summoning works in this, because it's pretty nifty. So I've got this really cool little hex here. It kind of shows me my range, which I can summon. Let's go ahead and left click, and boom. We've just summoned up some animated skeletons. So that is awesome. Like, it's a very, obviously, in bare bones kind of mode right now. But, oh, dude, see, he just launched a spell at me. Well, guess what? I got a spell. It's called Winds of Death. Well, bam! So, you know, you get these really cool abilities that you can use as you kind of play through the game. And obviously, this is very, oh, that's going to hurt. That's very, very bare bones right now. But It's cool to see summoning being brought in, and we can have the ability to use Winds of Death or Fireball, depending upon what you're doing, or prayers if you're a Warrior Priest of Sigmar. So it's really exciting to see the development of this of this mod coming along so well. And we now actually have a campaign map to jump into and fun stuff like that. So let's quickly jump now just to the real end here and kind of give you my overall thoughts on everything. And I think you guys have a pretty good idea of what I'm thinking so far. Here's another really cool kind of splash screen for the front of the game, so it's pretty cool here to talk over this. But right now, Old World is in a pretty crazy place. There are so many things being added into the game as far as units, armor, different races, spells, the entirety of the campaign map being built out. So if you are going to jump into it tomorrow, please make sure that you remind yourself that you are part of basically a testing phase of this mod as it kind of works through a lot of its bugs and its kinks. So any feedback that you give the developers of these mods is going to help them out so much. You're basically X thousands of percentage increase on their testing bed. So you're going to be able to really contribute to the production of this mod by giving them critical feedback on things that work and don't work, or hey, here's how I encountered this bug or this crash. So if you do jump in on this on Sunday, please make sure you are providing as much feedback as you can. I'm going to provide links in the description and the pinned comment when it goes live, so you guys can download those tomorrow, or just take a look at ModDB and so on and so forth to find them. I think they'll also be on Nexus. I'll find out for you guys. But I'm really excited for the future of this. Like, I'm stoked to play just the custom battle and the campaign. We'll go through some fun stuff in a stream of this, and we'll make a character together, either Empire or Vampire, and we'll do a poll and kind of determine which one we're going to do. But guys, the future of this is awesome, and barring Games Workshop shutting it down, which I don't think that they would, because this is now a quote-unquote defunct portion of their model line. I think they worry more about stuff in the Age of Sigmar and the 40K spectrum, and less in the fantasy spectrum. That is until the Old World comes out. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not too worried about it. They don't seem to be too worried about it either. So hopefully this will continue to be produced and increased in its grandeur, and I'm really excited. Of course, like I've said before, lots of jank here and there when it comes to, like, say, the Chaos Warriors pelts on their back and stuff like that, but it's to be expected. They are moving with so many moving parts, and this team is massive. Our own Matt Ross, the gentleman who has helped us out with countless speculation and rework videos, providing really cool mechanics like, hey, you know, what if this was added into Total War Warhammer? He is now a part of their development team and helping them out. So their team is massive, and they have got people that are going, hey, I just had this crazy idea about this thing, so I made a Dark Elf staff. I know Dark Elves aren't in the game, but I did the 3D render for it. So they're constantly adding these little tweaks and things like that to it, and it's a really exciting space to be a part of and see. So I'll provide links to that Discord too if you'd like to get involved, help them out with any kind of development. I'm sure they have some sort of open recruitment right now for any type of developer, so go ahead and take a look at that as well. But guys, like I don't think I can say it enough. I'm super stoked on this mod. I'm really excited to be sharing it here with you guys here today. And if you have any questions, if you're running into any issues installing it, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Just to kind of rehash things, if you are downloading it manually, you're going to make sure you have to unlock those DLL files in your core and core assets folders that you've dropped into your module folder. And then from there, when you press enter the old world, you also have to download the Harmony mod. Make sure you get that mod with it, and make sure you do load order. That will come with the download. When you press enter the old world, this is one of the cool loading screens here. You're going to select your character. Just make sure if you do want to use any kind of spell casting, you become a character that can actually use it, right? So let's go ahead and press here. So if you want to actually do it, if you're a Warrior Priest Acolyte, that will actually gain access to prayers. Gains access to prayers in later levels, enabled at level 1 for testing. And then if you want to do any kind of necromancy, you again have to be a vampire nobility, fledgling vampire nobility. Let's just go through this really quick. So vampiric nobility or novice necromancer. Otherwise, you cannot use those throughout the entirety of the campaign. Those are your 3 classes if you want to cast any spells. Just want to give that as a upfront because I forgot to mention it in the previous section. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun action. But let me know how stoked you are about this Warhammer mod coming to Bannerlord. But have a good one and take care.